I've heard the saying, be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. Well, today we're rediving into a story from the Old Testament that takes this idea to a whole new level. It's a dramatic tale of rebellion, leadership, and some seriously divine intervention. Let's talk about Dathan and Abiram. So, picture this. The Israelites have escaped Egypt. They've crossed the Red Sea, and now they're in the vast, unforgiving desert, heading toward the Promised Land. Moses is their leader, guided by God. But leadership is never easy, right? Especially when you're leading millions of people who just spent 400 years as slaves. They're tired, they're hungry, and they're starting to get a little cranky. Enter our main characters, Dathan and Abiram. These two guys, along with another prominent figure named Korah and 250 other community leaders, decided they'd had enough of Moses and his brother, Aaron. They looked at Moses and basically said, "Who do you think you are? We're all holy people. Why do you put yourself above everyone else?" Now, this wasn't just a simple complaint. This was a direct challenge to Moses' authority, and by extension, a challenge to God's chosen leadership. They accused Moses of bringing them out of Egypt, a land flowing with milk and honey, which is a bit of an exaggeration considering they were slaves there only, to let them perish in the desert. They were essentially saying, "You failed, Moses. You promised us a paradise, and all we got is sand." Moses, being a humble man, was deeply hurt by this. He fell on his face before God. He then proposed a test to settle the matter once and for all. He told Korah and his followers to come before the tabernacle the next day with their censers, which were special pans for burning incense. Aaron would be there with his censer, too. They would all offer incense, and God himself would show who he had chosen. But Dathan and Abiram refused to even show up. When Moses sent for them, they sent back a defiant message. "We will not come. Isn't it enough that you've brought us out of a land flowing with milk and honey to kill us in the wilderness? And now you want to lord it over us too." They were doubling down on their rebellion, staying in their tents in open defiance. So the next day, the showdown happens. Korah and his 250 followers stand before the tabernacle with their censers. Suddenly, the glory of the Lord appears to the entire assembly. God is furious and tells Moses and Aaron to stand back so he can consume all the rebels in an instant. But Moses and Aaron plead for the people, arguing that only the ringleaders should be punished. So God instructs Moses to tell the community to move away from the tents of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. The people back away, creating a clear space around the rebels' homes. Then, Moses makes a powerful declaration. He says, "This is how you will know that the Lord has sent me to do all these things, and that it was not my own idea. If these men die a natural death, then the Lord has not sent me. But if the Lord brings about something totally new and the earth opens its mouth and swallows them with everything that belongs to them, and they go down alive into the grave, then you will know that these men have treated the Lord with contempt." No sooner had he finished speaking than the ground beneath Dathan and Abiram's tents split wide open. The earth literally swallowed them, their families, and all their possessions. They, along with Korah's household, went down alive into the pit, and the earth closed over them. They vanished from the community. At the same time, fire came down from the Lord and consumed the 250 men who were offering incense. It's a shocking and intense story, isn't it? It serves as a stark reminder in the biblical narrative about the seriousness of rebellion against divinely appointed authority and the consequences of pride and discontent. It highlights the struggles of leadership and the faith required to follow, even when the path is difficult. It's a powerful lesson about humility, respect, and the awesome power of God. What do you think about this story? Is it a just punishment or an extreme reaction? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into biblical history, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. See you next time. Have you ever stood on the edge of a huge opportunity, a dream you've worked for your entire life, only to be paralyzed by fear? You can see the prize right in front of you, but a chorus of doubt starts whispering in your ear, telling you it's impossible. This isn't just a modern-day struggle. It's an ancient story, one that dramatically changed the course of history for an entire nation. Let's travel back in time, to the edge of the wilderness. The Israelites, after years of wandering, are finally at the doorstep of the promised land, a land said to be flowing with milk and honey. Moses, their leader, decides to send 12 spies, one from each tribe, to scout out this new territory. Their mission was simple: see what the land is like. Who lives there? Are they strong or weak? Are the cities fortified? And bring back some of its fruit as proof. For 40 days, these 12 men explored the land of Canaan. They saw its incredible bounty firsthand. They witnessed lush valleys, abundant vineyards, and fruit so large it took 2 men to carry a single cluster of grapes on a pole. They had tangible evidence that everything God had promised them was true. The land was everything they had hoped for and more. But they also saw something else. The people of the land. They saw fortified cities with towering walls and inhabitants who looked like giants. And this is where the story takes a dramatic turn. When the spies returned, they gathered all the people of Israel together. They started their report with the good news. They showed everyone the massive fruit, saying, "We went to the land where you sent us, and it certainly does flow with milk and honey. And this is its fruit." You can imagine the excitement rippling through the crowd. This was it, the moment they had been waiting for. But then, 10 of the spies changed their tune. Their fear completely overshadowed the promise. They said, "But the people who live there are powerful, and the cities are fortified and very large. We even saw descendants of Anak there. We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them." Suddenly, the atmosphere shifted from excitement to panic. A grasshopper report. These 10 spies saw the challenges as insurmountable. They forgot about the miracles they had witnessed: the parting of the Red Sea, the provision of manna from heaven. Their fear magnified the giants and minimized their God. Their words spread like wildfire, causing the entire nation to weep and complain, wishing they had never left Egypt. However, 2 of the spies, Joshua and Caleb, had a completely different perspective. They saw the same giants and the same fortified cities, but they didn't see defeat. They saw an opportunity for God to show his strength. They tore their clothes in distress and pleaded with the people. "The land we passed through and explored is exceedingly good. If the Lord is pleased with us, he will lead us into that land, a land flowing with milk and honey, and will give it to us. Only do not rebel against the Lord, and do not be afraid of the people of the land, because we will devour them. Their protection is gone, but the Lord is with us. Do not be afraid of them." Joshua and Caleb's report was one of faith. They focused on God's power, not the size of their problems. They remembered God's promises and believed he would be faithful to fulfill them. They saw the giants not as obstacles, but as bread for them to consume. What a powerful difference in perspective. Sadly, the people chose to listen to the 10 faithless spies. They let fear dictate their destiny. Because of their unbelief, that entire generation was sentenced to wander in the wilderness for 40 years. 1 year for each day the spies were in the land, until all of them had passed away. Only Joshua and Caleb, the 2 who brought a good report, were allowed to enter the promised land. This story is a powerful reminder for us today. How often do we let a grasshopper report stop us from pursuing what God has called us to do? We see the giants, the financial struggles, the health challenges, the relational conflicts, and we feel small and powerless. We forget the faithfulness of God in our past and the power of his promises for our future. This story teaches us that our perspective changes everything. We can choose to focus on the giants in our lives, or we can choose to focus on the giant slayer who is with us. We can listen to the voices of fear and doubt, or we can listen to the voice of faith that says, "Do not be afraid, for I am with you." What promised land is God calling you to? Don't let a grasshopper mentality hold you back. Like Joshua and Caleb, choose to see with eyes of faith. Trust that the God who brought you this far will see you through to the end. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content that inspires faith over fear. See you next time.